What's up guys, this TSP here, and today we are giving you some Black Ops 3 video, and this is by Vonderhaar talking about the game, what's in the game, and he's talking about multiplayer. But anyway, this is TSP, I'm out, see ya.
From what we've seen in like in Black Ops 2, for instance, like what's the major changes we're gonna see?
Yeah, so there's actually a bunch of new equipment and some perks, and let me just sort of start at the top.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah,
right? So on the weapons front, these are all the weapons that you're going to see here are new, right? So this gun that you're looking at right now, that's an ARK-7. So it's influenced by that family of guns that everybody knows, but it's actually rare that that's like that. All the guns are brand new. We didn't sort of take anything that we've had before, and then from there, with the guns, you've got the 5 attachments that you can put on them. Now, you have to burn every single slot and pick 10 to do that.
Right.
But you can load up a gun with 5 attachments and an optic, so that's a class that's using all 10. So that's a little bit different than last game, being able to take the attachments. And the attachments aren't mutually exclusive in that way. So, you know, extended clips aren't mutually exclusive with, you know, something else. That lets you reload faster, for example, so that you can put those in play. And then working down from there, there's some brand new equipment like the Trip Mine. That's something that people haven't quite seen yet. Sort of inspired by that sort of Bouncing Betty family, but for the time period. There's new perks like the tracker perks. You saw that in the video with the footsteps, you know, so for hunting people down. So across the whole spectrum of creative class, from weapons to attachments to perks, there's a bunch of new content in play, and there's new content in the score streak system as well. So that's all important for how it stacks with what specialist weapon or ability that you pick.
Right, so now with all this, like, seems like there's tremendous flexibility, especially when it comes to weapons and the attachments. Like, did you have to deal with, like, any, like, potential, like, balance issues?
Well, you know, the game's got to be balanced. I mean,
of course,
you know, the running joke in the studio is I don't think the game's fun unless it's balanced, right? You know, it can be fun and not be balanced, but we need the game to be balanced, and you give yourself tools to do that, right? So we call it power banding, which means where do we want this thing to be? So let me just use a very specific example to make the point, right?
Right.
So we say, okay, this score streak is worth this much score.
Right.
So with that much score, we expect it to help you this exact amount, and we actually dial to that. So if it's helping you too much, we'll actually change it, or we'll raise the score. So this is not hard to do. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of practice. Got to have a lot of data. The beta will help with that.
Right.
But you know, these things will be balanced within their power bands, and if they're not, we'll fix it.
How do you guys actually establish the baseline you have right now? Is this from internal play?
Yeah, so the baseline's inspired by internal play, but we actually it looks like with and without score streaks in play, so you can lay it right there in the middle of that stuff. So, you know, it's just part of making, it's what being a game designer and a system designer is about. It's part of the job.
Oh, wow. Awesome. So back to weapons again. Like, the custom camo system for weapons seems absolutely insane, just like the level of detail. Can you tell me a little bit more about like what players will be able to do?
Yeah, so what you're talking about is gunsmith and paint shop, right? So there's a couple of things. These things work hand in hand, so I'll just step you through them.
Right.
So gunsmith is how you create your own custom variant weapon that you name. So you go into gunsmith, you're like, I want to take this gun, say the ARK-7 here, and you say you name it. So you know, we'll give it a name. We'll say it's Vision. Then you stack it up, right? So you say, okay, I want this optic, and I want this attachment, and then I want this paint job, which I'll come to in a second, and this camo. And that's sort of the baseline of what the gunsmith does.
Right.
Now in the paint shop, you can actually go in there and paint the back of the gun, and there's a lot going on in there. So you can see it in the trailer that we watched at the back half. There's a little preview teaser of it, right?
Right.